Hi, my name is Aaron. Today I'll be leading you through a 20-minute vinyasa practice. Today our focus is going to be on the hamstrings. The hamstrings are going to be the muscles on the back of your legs. These are the muscles that are actually responsible for a lot of your bending, bringing our upper torso closer to the ground. A lot of times we might feel some pain in our lower back. Typically this is a result of tight hamstrings. So today we're just going to really focus on activating, lining up those hamstrings, giving them a good stretch, and hopefully reducing some of that pain that we might feel in the lower back. So for today's practice, let's go ahead and start in child's pose. We're going to bring our toes to touch, bring our knees toward the edge of the mat, let our bellies fall between our thighs as our hands reach toward the top of the mat. We're going to bring our forehead to the mat, grounding ourselves with the earth. You might feel a stretch across your back as your hands pull forward and your hips pull back closer to your knees. Let's go ahead and just take a couple natural breaths together. And let's just focus on how you're breathing. Bring awareness to what your body is doing naturally. Try not to change it. Now to begin today's practice, let's go ahead and start with a couple diaphragmatic breaths and really start to activate some of the chakras. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath in through our nose, filling up our lungs all the way. Let's go ahead and take an extra sip at the top. And together we'll exhale through our mouth, sighing that out. Let's do that one more time. Let's go ahead and breathe in through our nose. You might feel the breath in your back. Take another sip in and breathe out through your mouth, leaving a sigh. Great work, everyone. Now let's go ahead and seal our lips. We're going to breathe in through our nose one more time. And as we exhale, we're going to constrict the top of our throat, making what sounds like the waves of an ocean. So it's let's take one more breath. This is known as our Ujjayi breath. This is the throughout our practice today, go ahead and focus on this breath as it guides your energy through your body, allowing you to focus more on the moment. Throughout today's practice, we're going to focus on some balancing, some stretching. If at any moment it becomes too uncomfortable for you, you're welcome to return to child's pose. Or for some of you, child's pose may be the only pose that you do for today's practice, and that is okay. But if you are ready to move, you can go ahead and follow me. Let's bring ourselves up into tabletop. Make sure our hands are beneath our shoulders, our hips directly above our knees. Let's go ahead and untuck our... Great. Let's take a breath in and a breath out. And then on the inhale, we'll untuck our tailbone, arch our back, lift our head to the sky. And on the exhale, we're going to breathe out, bringing our back toward the sky. With a gentle curve, belly button to the spine. Let's go ahead and breathe in one more time. This is a cat pose, and we're going to breathe out. That's a cow pose. For this next movement, let's find a neutral spine. Make sure our hands are directly underneath our shoulders. Our weight is distributed evenly. And then we're going to bring our right leg to the back of the mat. We're going to have our heel on the ground. And let's go ahead and just kind of move our body back and forth so that we start to feel a little bit of a stretch across the back of our leg. We might round around that heel. Great work. And then we'll return to neutral. We're going to bring our heel up into the air. Go ahead and take a look back. See where your toes are pointing. They should be pointing toward the ground. And then your hip should remain in a neutral position so that it's your hamstring that's lifting the leg and not the hips. A lot of times when I'm in this position, my hips are going to overcompensate, and you'll find that I'm leaning over to one side. For this, we want to keep a straight back with just the leg lifted up. And with our leg lifted up, we're gonna give it a couple pulses. 1, 2, 3. It's not a kick, it's just a little bit pulse. Let's do 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Great work. And now with our leg lifted with our right leg lifted into the air, we're gonna bring our left arm forward. And then on the exhale, we're gonna bring our elbow to our knee, arching our back in that cow pose. Great. Let's do it one more time. And then bring our elbow to our knee. Inhale, we're gonna bring our arm and our leg out. On the exhale, we'll bring our knee back to the ground, arm directly underneath our shoulders, back to tabletop. Great, go ahead and find that neutral position again. We're gonna bring our left leg to the back of the mat. Just like we did on the other side, we're gonna move back and forth just a little bit, feeling a slight stretch in the back of our legs. Now we're gonna bring our left knee up into the air. Go ahead and take a look back again. Sometimes go ahead and take a look back again. Make sure your toes are pointed directly toward the ground. The foot is active in this stretch. And we want to make sure that it's just our hamstring that's lifting our leg off the ground and that our body's not compensating over one side. And then with me, we're going to take 3 pulses with our leg. Just 1, 2, 3. Great work. We're going to do 3 more. 1, 2, 3. All right, now we're gonna bring our right arm out in front of us. And then we're gonna bring our elbow to our knee, and that's cow pose. Great work. Right arm back in front of us on the inhale, and then on the exhale, elbow to knee, cow pose. Right arm out in front of us. Let's go to make sure our eyes are facing the ground. This is gonna keep a long spine. Make sure we're remaining a flat back. And then bring our elbow to our knee. On the exhale, cow pose. On the inhale, bring it back out. And then on the exhale, we'll bring our knee back to the mat, hand underneath our shoulders. I'm going to take a moment, take a look at your hands. Our hands should be flat on the mat. Our fingers should be spread wide apart. And our palms are going to be constricting, gripping the mat like we're bringing it closer together, or sometimes I've heard it's like we're opening a jar, but just with our palms. So we want to really squeeze tight. We want to bring awareness to the body. See how our weight is distributed. We want to make sure the weight's distributed evenly across all 4 limbs, between the knees and the 2 palms. Great work, everyone. Now we're going to tuck our toes. And this time we're gonna shift the weight from our knees to our toes, and we're gonna lift our knees just 2 inches off the ground into beast pose. Great, we're gonna take an inhale, stay for the exhale. Feel your core engaged in this moment. That's gonna be the part of the body, the muscle group that's really gonna start to lift you forward into down dog. And ready, on your exhale, let's bring our hips up into the air. Feel our body shift so the weight is distributed evenly across all 4 limbs. And now we're in down dog. Let's go ahead and take a breath together. And we're gonna exhale, just sigh it out with an open mouth. One more time, inhale. Seal our lips, and let's focus on that Ujjayi breath once again. Go ahead and face toward the top of the mat. Go ahead and step your right foot forward and bring your left knee to the ground. Bring your arms into the air. This is our Anjaneyasana, into Anjaneyasana. Great. You might feel a deeper stretch if you place your weight more onto your right foot, pulling yourself forward. You might feel it a little bit more in the back. If it's at all too intense for you, you might think about grabbing some padding under your knees, or even just leaning back a little bit. You might not be able to get as high there because the hamstrings are a little bit too tight. Great, and then on the exhale, we're gonna bring our right foot forward just a little bit, lengthen it out. Step our right foot forward just not even like an inch, maybe like half an inch, so that we can get our right leg straightened out and we're into half splits. Bring our arms to the ground. You might use some props here. Use the Use the blocks to bring the ground closer to you. We want to lean forward, really bringing our toe, pointing our toe directly at our forehead, and our heart is going to start to lean toward our knee. We may not get all the way there, but we really want to start pulling that stretch. This is lengthening, no. This is activating the hamstrings here. Great work, everyone. Let's go ahead and plant ourselves back in the right foot. Bring ourselves back into Anjaneyasana. And for this, we're gonna go ahead and step our right foot back so that our knee is aligned with our left. We're gonna bring our hands to the ground, return to tabletop. Great work, everyone. Now, instead of going back into down dog, we're just gonna go straight into Anjaneyasana from here. If you want to add that extra heat, bring yourselves into down dog, step forward to the top of the mat, you're more than welcome to. But if you're like me and wanna skip that part, we're just gonna bring our left leg up to the front, pull ourselves forward into Anjaneyasana. I wanna make sure to pay attention to any differences on this side, on the left side from your right. And try not to bring any judgment or put any value statements on this. We just want to notice any differences. Maybe make some adjustments if we need to. Maybe our left side is going to be a little bit more tighter, so we're not going to sink our hips close deeper. Instead, we're going to keep it up just a little bit higher. Great work, everyone. Let's go ahead and step our left foot just a little bit forward, straighten our leg, bring our head down into half splits. Really take a look at your toes for this moment. Make sure that they're pointing directly towards your forehead. It should look like they're staring directly into your eyes. Bring your heart closer to your knee. Great work, everyone. We want to feel that stretch in our hamstrings. This is really what's going to loosen us up, get us prepared. All right. Great work, everyone. Let's return back to Anjaneyasana. Now from here, we're gonna all right, from Anjaneyasana, we're gonna bring our hands to the ground, frame our foot, bring our foot back, get ourselves into high plank. In high plank, we want to still keep our shoulders directly above our wrists. Our hands are going to be stretched out just like we did in down dog. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath. And exhale. Now we're going to push our body just a little bit forward so that we're directly onto our tippy toes. And now we're going to start to bring ourselves down toward the ground, and we want to see the bend start to go from our elbow, and we want to make just kind of a, once we get about halfway down, we're going to see a upside down L in our arm, and then we're going to keep going as we get closer to the ground. Great, just ever so slowly. Now on your breath in, we're going to lift our back up. Try to focus on just using your back muscles to bring your back up from the ground. Really plant the tops of your feet into the ground. Feel your toenails push in. Keep your eyes facing the ground so that you have that straight spine. All right, and on your exhale, let's go ahead and bend. Great work. Go ahead and bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Lift yourself up into high plank, and then go ahead and roll over the balls of your feet into downward dog. Bring your hips up into the air. Great. Go ahead and take a look at the top of the mat. Step your right knee up to the top of the mat, and we're going to go ahead and bring ourselves forward into high crescent lunge. Lift yourselves up. Great. High crescent lunge. We're going to bring our hands down to the mat. Frame our right foot. Now from here, we're going to move into a pyramid pose. The way that I like to get there is I like to bring my back knee up just a little bit so that my legs are about 3 to 3.5 feet apart. And then I'm gonna straighten my right leg, and I'm gonna have both of my legs straight. My hips are gonna be facing the front of the room in a neutral rotation. And then I'm gonna bring, just like we did with the half splits, I'm gonna bring my head down and my hands to the ground. You might find some blocks to bring the ground closer to you. Some of you might feel a greater stretch if you lift your arms into airplane pose. There might be a little bit of balancing there that you can do. However you do this stretch, what you're focusing on is not necessarily the back or where your arms are. You want to focus on that hamstring. Wherever you get the best hamstring stretch is the best position that's going to be for you. Whatever's just as long as that's comfortable. Great work, everyone. Let's go ahead and do a half lift. We want to make sure that we have a flat back. Our head is looking down toward the ground so that we maintain a flat spine. And then we're going to lower our body on our exhale. Let's go ahead and take one more inhale. And on that exhale, we want to deepen into that stretch. Great work, everyone. Now we're going to, let's go ahead and plant our hands to the ground. Pay attention here. We're going to move ourselves into standing splits. The way that I like to get into standing splits is I'm going to put just a slight bend in my right knee, try to focus all of my weight onto that right side. And then as I start to lift up, I'm going to maintain a straight left leg. And instead of using the momentum of my body and then I'm going to stay folded, oops.